goals aren't created equal. And there's a kind that will lead you to far more fulfillment than others. And that kind is experiential goals versus, for example, outcome goals. Experiential goals are ones that are defined by what you want to experience, what you want to feel. What are the qualities that you want to be able to have in your life if you achieve those goals? Outcome ones are defined. The $1 million, the house on the beach, the family with 2 kids and a dog. All of these very specific things that are tied to very specific outcomes. And the difference between experiential ones and the outcome ones are that experiential ones actually give you far more leeway to understand how it could look and give you a lot of flexibility in terms of the different ways that you can actually achieve the experience that you want. So, for example, if I grew up, not if, this is actually, circumstances I grew up in, we're often kind of told to set very specific goals around the schools we want to go to, the jobs that we want to have, the companies even that we want to get into, the roles, the specific roles that we want to play, or even if you're an entrepreneur, the amount of money that you want to make per month. Those are not bad goals to have. But if you don't understand why you are setting a very specific outcome goal and how that ties back to the experience that you want to have in your life, then you are actually really narrowing the possibility of what you are self-defining as success. Whereas, if we define it, let's say you are an entrepreneur, you define it as, I want to make enough money to provide for my family. And of course, you have to know what that amount of money is per month, per year, given the expenses that you have. I want to be able to provide for my parents $2,000 a month so that they don't have to worry about daily expenses. I want to give back to my community or the causes that I care about. And I want to do that, at a certain amount every year, every month. And I don't want to have to worry about treating my friends out to meals or sending my friend that gift when I see something for them. And then if you land at a number that's then connected to those experiences that you want, then that number makes sense. It's not just some arbitrary pulled out of thin air number like $10,000 a month, $50,000 a month because you see that online. Or even the I made my first million. How many videos or content things are there talking about making your first million? Sure, the million is great, but so many people make the million and realize that they're not fulfilled and something is missing because they don't understand what they were chasing with that million. What do you want to do with that $1 million? Even if you're not an entrepreneur and you work with someone or work for someone, you're an employee and you have a professional career, then even saying, I want X job at X company is narrowing the scope to one role, basically. So if you don't get that one role, does that mean you are a failure? But if you were to say, I want to work in entertainment because I love the ways that various stories being told represent all kinds of different human experiences and help each of us feel less alone. And that's why the entertainment industry is really valuable to me. And what I want to do within that is help the people who want to tell stories get their stories told. That means you could potentially be in distribution. That means you could be in talent scouting to find screenwriters, directors, producers, who can actually put the words to the story. Or you might be in marketing because you are then helping people discover these stories. Because then you're not fixed to one role or one title or one department within one company that you've defined. Let's say it's Netflix. You can instead say, actually, it's about entertainment. It's about storytelling at large. And it's about representation and showing people all the different ways that their stories can come to life. And that there are other people in the world who have experienced this. And if that's experience that you want, then you can get even more granular. to understand, what do you want to experience in your day-to-day? Like, what do you want to be doing? What do you want to be creating? What do you want to be contributing to in your day-to-day that leads to this bigger picture about storytelling and helping people see themselves in these stories so they feel less alone in the world? Like I said, someone who's in marketing, someone who's in talent scouting, someone who's in distribution, someone who is in the actual like direction and production of the thing, they all could connect to that bigger mission. But you have to understand for yourself, like, what are the skills you want to be using? What are the things you want to be creating? What are the ways in which you want to contribute to people discovering these stories? Because what we're actually painting is what is actually accurate about what we want. Because you don't want just a random job. You don't actually even know if you want a specific job at a specific company, because you have no idea if that company is going to be good for you, or if that culture is going to be fitting for you, or if that job at that company is actually going to be compelling for you. And so if we pigeonhole ourselves to these very specific outcomes before we understand what we're trying to experience by achieving those outcomes, oftentimes we can be setting ourselves up for disappointment. Because if we've defined our success so narrowly, when we don't achieve it, we will feel like a failure. If you don't get that Netflix job, if that's been the dream job for like however many years, even if that wasn't an accurate goal, you're still going to feel this big gap because you didn't achieve it. Instead, if we're able to describe the experience that we want, the qualities that we want in our life, and this doesn't just apply to work, this applies to where you want to live, the house you want to be in, the people you want to be around, the love that you want in your life, the relationships, the assets that you have. These are all things that ultimately give us an experience, give us a feeling that we're after. Because the ownership or the acquisition or the attaining of that thing that we've so narrowly defined is just one moment in time. Most of the work is the entire build up to that moment. And then once you achieve it, it's the experience of it after the fact. So do you understand the experience that you're trying to have on the way to that goal, as well as what achieving that goal is going to give you on the backside? Because that's actually where the life is lived. The attainment of that moment is going to be a blip in time. And if we set so much, if we put so much onus or pressure on achieving that one thing, we're giving ourselves undue pressure for a thing that may not accurately describe what we want. So what are experiences that you want in your life? What are the qualities that you want to experience? Or what are the qualities you want to have that make up a good life for you? What makes a fulfilling life for you? Is it having all these things? Or is it what the things that you want to set as the specific goals can provide for you? And ultimately, that takes time to answer those questions. It's a lot easier to take some goal that you see on the internet, replayed at you 100 times over to be like, oh, that should be something I want. Making my first million should be something that I want. Cool. Everybody wants to make $1 million. Who wouldn't? But for what reason? To what end? How are you going to utilize that? How is that actually going to make your life different and better? You can still set the $1 million goal. There is nothing wrong with that. But the gap that I'm speaking to is people who set those goals, those very specific outcome goals, without understanding what they're trying to experience and what qualities they want in their life. And without that, even if you achieve that outcome goal, it's going to feel empty, or it's going to feel like something's still missing. And then you're going to chase the next thing. And a lot of people end up in this lifelong chase, because if it's not the $1 million, maybe it's the 10 million. Maybe it's the 15. Maybe it's the 50. Maybe it's the 100. And you can keep chasing that, and it'll keep feeling empty, or that something is missing, if you don't understand what the outcome is meant to serve in your life.